Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Shout out to my YouTube, Instagram, and my Facebook family. So, ladies and gentlemen, the man has gone down. The guy is done. It's over with. If you don't know who I'm talking about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, goodness gracious, what are you doing? If you don't know who Andrew Tate is, he's like a social media sensation. All of a sudden, he just showed up on the internet. I mean, like a plague. He was just everywhere. And like I said, I watch everything. And one thing I do know is nothing shows up on the internet for no reason. It comes in there like it's just happening, but it's designed. Now, who is Andrew Tate, right? Let's talk about this guy, because his life is done. He's 39 years old and he's done. You're going to prison, sir, for the rest of your miserable life. All right, Andrew Tate, right? These two guys from London, the two brothers from British London, half black, half white, built up an immense following. They're Trump guys, right? So listen to these charges, right? No. Let's explain Tate, right? Let's talk about them. These guys are like in that red pill space about be a man, work hard, make money, da 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 da, right? And I always tell people, right, be careful about your values and your morals. Because what this guy is, he's about, you gotta be a hustler, you gotta get the money, you gotta be strong, men don't cry, right? Just like these rappers out here, get the money, get the hustler. But what they don't tell you is, you have to compromise sometimes on your morals and your ethics to make a certain amount of money. The type of person you have to become isn't always the best person at a certain, I'm gonna say a certain dollar amount, but when you have to become a greedy person, narcissistic person, manipulative, you have to be always on edge, no feelings, no sympathy, empathy of any type. You gotta be stone cold sociopath, right? So listen to these charges, right? So anyway, no, hold on. Andrew Tate, they show up and they're giving men advice, right? And I like some of that content. It can kind of get weird, but you know, he would get very hyperbolic. He'll say stuff, well, the woman needs to be in the kitchen. And you're just kind of like, right? He's sounding like the crazy guy who had too much to drink, right? But slowly but surely, like, you find out how this guy is making all his money. Because he's driving Bugattis, he has mansions, he's flying private planes. And you're like, how is he doing this? Like, what's the business? And you found out that he traffics women. Right in front of your face. And it's so crazy because he'll mention it, but in your mind, you're like, no one's that crazy to mention this on the internet. That you're just kind of thinking like, oh, no, listen to these charges. So they've just been arrested here in the United States in Miami. This is the charges, right? What are they charged with? They face multiple charges in UK and Romania, and which they moved to in 2016. British prosecutors said that the new charges relate to alleged offenses that took place between 2010 and 2017. It says he has grape. They have grape is one. 3 counts of arranging, facilitating, trafficking for exploitation, 3 counts of assault, and 19 charges of offenses related in indecent images of a child and extreme pornography. Tristan Tate was charged with 1 count of sexual assault, 2 counts of rape, and 3 counts of arranging and facilitating sex trafficking. Now they're winning extradition. So, you guys know I like to talk about mental health and having a good perspective on life. And I always try to tell brothers, life isn't about impressing people, about how much money you can make. It's about a spiritual and a mental development of a human being. Trying to be the best version of yourself. Now, it can be different for different people, right? But one thing is, once you start going down this path, because when I watch old videos of them, He was in kickboxing. It seemed like a decent guy. But it seems like at some point in his life, the fame and the money and the fortunes and being somebody, insecurities brought him to this. Like, this guy's 39, so he's relatively young. He's relatively young, looking at spending the rest of his life in prison for what? What dollar amount is worth you spending the rest of your life in prison? And this is what I really want to say, right? And this is the reason why I say you got to be careful on what's on the internet. I don't know if you have kids, I don't have kids, or whoever. Be sure you're watching what they're looking at on the internet, because this guy was at the one point the most Googled man on the internet, the most Googled person. And it's like, who is funding this? Why are these morals and these ethics being pushed so much? Hyperconsumerism, money, fame, hypersexuality, indecent behavior, being a bully, beat them up, take what they have, you're the man. These type of individuals are being like pushed to the forefront of social media. And once again, like I said, social media, if you like it or not, I know people say, I don't watch that stuff. Well, guess what? You live in a world where people do. So you better understand what other people are watching and what they're seeing and how they're moving out here. Right? This guy spent at least a good how many years preaching to young, impressionable guys, right, on the morals and the standards they should live by. And now look at him. He's in prison. He deserves it. I'm not gonna lie to you. You deserve every bit of it. Like, he's never getting out of prison. It's over. And it's worth it. Is that extra $1 million or $2 million worth you spending the rest of your life in prison? Or it might not even be as deep and dark as prison, but just having a negative experience about yourself and feelings about yourself. You know what I mean? Just because of money. I know people who compromise over materialism and over their ethics all the time. You know what I mean? I recently had a situation where, like, I made a video about it, where there was a friend of mine, that an associate of mine that came out here. And once again, when you see people trying to climb that ladder, they come with these personality traits: arrogant, narcissistic, nasty, deluded. And you're just kind of like, I don't want to be around that. I don't want to, I like my little life. I like what I do. I like how I move. I don't really need all of that. Because you guys start getting weird when you get into these. I guarantee you, me and this guy Andrew Tate couldn't sit for longer than 2 minutes in a room. And I'm just going to look at him like, yo, what are you talking about? The Bugatti, I got the Bugatti. Yeah, you don't let you have Bugattis in prison. What else they got in here? Yeah, and there's a connection with Trump. So apparently Trump, he was banned. So when he first got the charges in Romania, he was banned to leave the country. But Donald Trump gave him like a little boost, like, you can come here. And this is that Epstein class that we talk about. So it's kind of suiting, like, Donald Trump, why would you, and you already have allegations yourself, Trump, of this behavior too. You know? And so, what else we got? But anyway, guys, Andrew Tate's out of here. No more Andrew Tate or the brothers. These guys became Muslim out of nowhere here. Just horrible human beings. Just horrible. Look at them. They're all over the news. He was arrested in Miami. Like, wouldn't you have gotten low? Like, why don't you go to oh man, they're in prison uniforms. Yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's over. Look at this. And I remember Ron DeSantis and Mark Rubio didn't like them being in Florida. But yeah, guys, this is success, right? It's a trap. It's gonna send you down a terrible and horrible existence. You want to find your purpose. You want to find meaning in something real. If you can make a lot of money doing it, even better. But I wouldn't prioritize just money like that. You know what I mean? And they were being hailed and exalted, right? And Elon Musk loved him. Donald Trump loved him. All the right wing conservative misogynists loved him. Oh, he's so funny. But then you start looking and you're like, hold on, he's not joking, y'all. He's serious. He has videos of hitting women with belts. He's explaining his whole business. And it's like, I think you're explaining international crimes, Andrew Tate. I don't think he's sitting there, yeah, you know, I have women and they sit inside a warehouse and I have cameras and I make the money and I take the money in. And I'm sitting there going like, this can't be real. He can't be serious. Because if he's serious, he's implicating himself in international trafficking. Jeffrey Epstein level. You're trash, man. And no one's going to feel bad for you. You're done, bro. You had a little run. You made a little bit of money. He can't get you out of this. You are done. You're an idiot. You are a clown. It is over. Goodbye. Good riddance. You know what I mean? But anyway, I had to say that to let y'all know. What we got to do sometimes, like I said, use real life experiences to explain a point. And once again, like I said, I have made a video about a certain individual. Like I said, once you get into like that music entertainment space, it's just weird people that you meet. And this type of guy, Andrew Tate, like that personality type, I already know what that is. You see it, like people who will take advantage of people, manipulate people, lie, steal, pretend. Oh, I thought you owned that car. Yeah, it's in the shop, you know, the tire. You're like, you're lying, man. You're renting cars. You don't own any of this. Thieves. All type of stuff. And you don't want to be part of that world. You want to be in the real world, have a little decent life, and do what you got to do. But anyway, y'all know the slogan, chase knowledge, don't chase money. Peace, love, positivity. Andrew Tate's done, y'all. Prison? You're going to prison. Oh my goodness. For what? Over just wanting to be rich and famous? The internet has people going crazy, man. You're throwing everything away. Here goes my life. 39. You have a lot more life to live. 39 is... All right. Anyway, gotta go.